Hello everyone, my name's Holly Mackay. I'm Managing Director of the Platform. I'm joined today by David Thompson. Hi David.
Hi.
Who's Managing Director of Marketing and Distribution for AXA Wealth. We're here to talk about the platform today, David. You launched at the back end of 2008. There's some 4 billion on the platform today. Been around for 3.5 years. Surely now you must sort of look at the platform and think we have built what we set out to build. Is it a finished product?
I'm not sure any platform in the market will ever be a finished product, because I think the needs of the customer and the advisor just changes and evolves throughout time. And I think when we decide where to spend our money on the product, in terms of the platform itself, we have 3 key areas. One is the regulatory spend, which is basically to keep the thing in business and to make sure we can trade in light of regulatory responsibilities. The second area is really to improve the operational efficiency of the platform for AXA Wealth and the advisor, and the third area is proposition. So I think there's always going to be investment in those 3 areas, whether it's a large investment or a minor investment. So we're pleased with the asset growth over the last 3 years, but I think we need to continue to invest and evolve the platform, as most of our competitors I'm sure will do.
Okay, so in terms of proposition, what would you say in developing it? What's on the horizon for you? Because I think one thing that people will say, and a lot of advisors tell us, if they're looking at you, they know that you're powered by FNZ.
Yeah.
They know that Standard Life are too.
Yeah.
So a question we get a lot is doesn't that mean you're pretty much the same thing?
I think it's a good question. I think the way the analogy I try to use is a car. And if you think about
you're going to lose me on cars.
Well,
keep going.
Perhaps it's a bad choice, but I'll try anyway.
Okay.
The car, you got the engine, and FNZ are basically providing the engine, which is in effect the investment transaction engine. So, but Standard Life have built their platform in a different way to the way Elevate have built its platform. So, the user interface, both of the platforms are different. The way that the tax wrappers sit on the platforms are different. The way that we manage our discretionary management capability is very different. All of our tax wrappers sit within the platform. They're an integrated part of the platform. They're not third-party wrappers. So I think there are ways in which you can differentiate, even though the software provider as such is the same. That software provider is just basically providing that engine room, which is the investment transaction capability.
Okay, I won't put you on the spot and ask you to suggest what sort of car you think AXA or Standard would be.
I think that's already been done by somebody.
Okay, not original. Talk about the AXAs piece of the AXA Wealth Group.
Yeah.
We're hearing more from advisors looking for what they call delegated portfolio solutions, perhaps for the smaller clients. How integral a part of Elevate is AXAs, and do you see that relationship getting closer over time?
AXAs is part of AXA Wealth, so clearly that there is a close relationship between AXAs and Elevate. However, it's our commitment to continue to offer what we would call an open architecture platform. Elevate has, I think, 2,600 funds. People can trade in investment trusts and ETFs, and we don't intend to change that model. So people will still have a very wide choice. However, where we can get value from AXAs, because we share, we can capture the investment manufacturing margin. In some instances, we may choose to share that value with the advisor or the advisor's customer, and that's what we're doing at the moment with the offer, the AXAs offer. So I think, to answer your question, I think we will continue to offer an open architecture approach. However, we will also look at ways in which we can improve the investment proposition, where potentially we can share value to the advisor and the customer. I think there's more and more evidence to suggest that advisors are thinking about outsourcing investment management, either through discretionary managers or model portfolios themselves. So I think there's enough room in the market to offer that open architecture approach, but also offer some bespoke solutions through an in-house investment provider. Okay.
Does that give you more pricing flexibility, do you think? You're manufacturing the tax wrappers. You have within an AXA Wealth the AXAs proposition. Does that mean that the platform could become a cost centre and not something you set out to generate revenues from in its own right?
I'm not sure. Elevate, needs to make a profit. It's scheduled to make a profit within the next 2 years or so, based on the asset growth projection and the asset growth that has been growing over the last 3 years. So it is a cost centre, and it will continue to invest in Elevate. But the pure intention is for Elevate to make a profit within the next 2 years. So I think we will utilise the AXAs investment operation to ensure that it provides a good solid investment solution to advisors and their customers, and where it's appropriate we can share that value.
Okay, we talked about developments. I know that a project sort of close to your own interest is developing the execution only proposition to support advisors who want to offer that for clients, and that's being piloted at the moment. Can you tell us a wee bit about that?
Yeah, I mean, I suppose we would like to call it business to customer, which is quite a clumsy way of putting it across. But I suppose the strategic rationale for this is we think, perhaps in some respects unfortunately, there'll be a large number of customers that post RDR that won't be able to gain access to advice, whether they're in the intermediated space or possibly with a retail bank, and that will be because of the cost of advice and I suppose the transparency and explicitness of advice charges. So those customers may already sit within advisory businesses. Advisors are often come to us and ask us what they're thinking of doing with those customers in terms of client segmentation. So the rationale for offering this platform is to go to advisors' businesses, offer them an execution-only platform that they can joint market to their customers that aren't or can't pay for advice, but still that advisory business still maintains a tenuous link with those customers. So the reaction we've had from advisors so far has been very positive to this, because there aren't many solutions in the market that provide that type of capability. It's online only. It's a very simple, very clean investment transaction engine for customers. It's got a very simple investment range, 180 funds. You can pay by debit card. You can transact an ISA in less than 8 minutes. So we think it will appeal to a certain segment of an advisor's customers. And in terms of what the advisor gets from that, then we will pay them an introductory fee for introducing those clients to the platform, which is a basis points fee.
Okay. Do you think the difficulty there is the main thing? Do you feel you're providing advisors with a bit of kit, with a technology solution, or are you actually working to answer any questions they've got about the responsibilities that offering this has? Because I imagine it's not a clear-cut. It's something that must make advisors a bit nervous.
I think you get different reactions. Some advisors completely embrace it and understand, and some advisors quite naturally are sceptical. I think the question you ask is a really good one. It isn't just a piece of kit. It should be seen as an extension of an advisory business's service proposition, if you will. So it gives them an extra capability to be able to actually offer a service, albeit a non-advised service, to a certain segment of customers. Now, clearly with RDR, advisory businesses are deciding about independent, they're deciding about if they want to move to restricted, they're thinking about which clients they want to deal with, they're segmenting the client banks, and this is basically an extension of our overall RDR offer, which allows them to deal and create revenue from a segment of customers which they wouldn't normally be able to do so with.
Okay. And just finally, sort of, David, we're on a bit of a mission to get platforms to be clear with advisors about which sort of advisors they're good for. So if you had to hit me between, well, don't literally, but with 3 bullet points to say this is what AXA Elevate is really good at, or these are the sorts of advisors that we work particularly well with, what would you say?
I think I would say Elevate has been built as, I would say, a functionally rich platform. So I think if you're interested in a wide investment offer, if you're interested in trading in exchange traded funds, if you're interested in bespoke investment solutions, potentially around model portfolios, then I think that should be of interest. I think the support service we offer around Elevate is significant. I have a team of about 50 salespeople. but I also have a team of about 60 support people. So we actually have more support people for the platform than actually people selling the platform. And I think that's really important, because adopting a wrap platform is a significant step for any advisory business to take. And I think the more generic support they can get in terms of, going back to the RDR point, how do they structure their business around RDR, which platform do they choose, utilising people like yourself in terms of due diligence, the more support they can get there, the better and more effective transition is. So I think if people are looking for support, that's something we can offer, and not every platform provider can offer that. And of course, ultimately, they're dealing with a very large financial services provider in AXA. AXA is a global provider who have stated an ambition to be a top wrap platform player in the UK, and are evidencing that by the continued investment in the platform in terms of its functionality and in terms of the capability of the platform. So I think if you're looking for a good overall investment range, good support, functionally rich platform with access to some bespoke investment solutions, then that's Elevate, really.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for talking to me today. Thanks, David Thompson of AXA Wealth.
Thanks.